through with that. Welcome to the Saturday night edition. Please click the white arrow and repost the live, so that next week we want to take a road trip down to Trelawney, Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. So we are asking our listeners to stay tuned. We want to ask for your support for the road trip. We want to get listeners to sponsor and Hanover. Yeah. Your neighbor and KC will be hitting the road. Now, we want to take along with us some water. Just water. Can you buy a case of water? I don't think we can take too many. But we need sponsorship for transportation and for water, all right? We want to go on the ground and see for ourselves what is happening. So we're asking you to purchase a case of water. Now, a case of water is for $1,250. So we want to be able to, give some water, just as we travel along. Nothing else really. Just in case we stop on the road and people need water, we give them a bottle of water. Not trying to do anything else. Not trying to eke out anything for ourselves. No. We are going on this trip. Your neighbor and KC. We're taking our cameras and we're going to be doing some interviews. And if we can come to you live, then we come live. We don't have Starlink and we're hoping that we can get one in quickly. St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and we come right around. So get in touch with Caroline and purchase a case of water. That's the neighbors road tour after Melissa. Taking the show on the road for you and for you and for you. We need water. Yes, so we yeah. So you can use the same force to send your funds to Zelle or WhatsApp, Cash App. That's how I want to start tonight. I want you to listen to the speaker. Do we have it? Go ahead with that. Go ahead. Okay.
Order prior. So go ahead, member from St. Catherine Northwest, what I do believe. So St. James South was called first, and then you are next. So St. James South first, and then the member from St. Catherine Northwest. And members, number one, the member from St. and Southeast a while ago, also embellished instead of asking questions. Finally came to the questions, and generally members, the standing order requires, if someone has asked a question before, you do not repeat the question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister, I think...
No, I want you to listen. If Nikisha is asking any questions here, just listen. And I'm going to point out how rude this lady is. Miss Burchell. You know, boy, I tell you, Miss Burchell is a shadow of an MP. Shadow.
I think that was really a substantial presentation. I know it must be tough and it's a good start. I'm looking forward to much more as the months progress. But I want to ask about allocation.
All right. Have you heard any question yet? Let's listen if we hear it.
and equity. Given South St. James,
I want to ask about allocation and equity. Now she goes to the speech.
key role in agriculture, as you would know from Moko. I'm assuming, or is it safe for us to assume in South St. James that we would be on the higher end of the spectrum of the announcements you've made for allocations with respect to water, with respect to all the inputs that you will be, that you have, he did say water. You were not, he did. With respect to farm roads, Minister, we had long-standing farm roads issue. I was in Moko last night.
Is that a question? Is it?
Night before last night, and they were showing me the minor roads that take you from Katadupa through Lapland into Moko, and that road can't pass. So they're taking the baskets on their heads to get out what they have left in the fields. I want to know, how will you be working with the NAA to ensure that the main roads, which are also in really horrible conditions, will also be able to take the load from the market? Because where food insecurity is concerned, South St. James has a key role to play in that, and we want to contribute.
Okay, if you heard a question, how many have you heard so far? How many questions?
But we need our farm roads in Maroon Town, in Garlands, in Roehampton, in Sweetwater, in Moko to be prioritized. We're asking to be that model for farming development. We have the know-how, we have the farmers, we have the products.
Is that a question? I'm asking you. You are reasonable people. Is that a question? Let's listen.
We have all of that, so we're asking you to use us as the guinea pigs. With respect to seeds and inputs, Minister, I want to know if that is limited to just seeds, or we can expect some yam head. Can we also expect some?
No, that yam head comment, yam head. Well, listen.
Some pineapple sucker, some banana sucker, some plantain sucker, and not just the seedlings, because we have become very proficient in South St. James at pineapple farming.
Are you hearing questions there? Are you hearing questions?
We're also proficient with respect to plantain and bananas, and our yams rival Trelawney. We want to know that you're not limiting it to.
Is that a question, listeners? Is Miss Burchell asking a question? Let me tell you something. If I were Speaker of the House, this nonsense couldn't happen. It couldn't happen.
Seedlings, but of course the good old fertilizer to seeds, the good old fertilizer.
Is that a question? Is Miss Burchell so far? And if you are the minister, what are you going to answer? Where are the questions? Listen.
We need to know how you're going to be getting that to us. I was in conversation with the people in Niagara and Garlands on Sunday night.
Is that a question? You're in conversation with your people in Garlands?
And I told them that we have to get up now.
And I told them that we have to get up now. Is that a question?
Go back to farming. And we
have to get up and go back to farming. A question?
We have to lead the way, and they say they are prepared. Some ask
people say they are prepared. Here's a question.
You to come give us the seedlings, but also we need the fertilizer so we can shoot up and get through the spring quickly. With respect to livestock support, I won't speak to that. We lost I don't know if we're included in.
The last livestock. Huh? She's gonna tell them now how much livestock, how much fowl and goat South St. James lose. Here are
the million that you assessed, but you know South St. James is live.
No, hold on. The speaker is just about to step in now. If neighbor was speaker in that house, this girl would have been stopped long time. Long time. As a matter of fact. Oh, come on.
Very
That country
obvious. It is very
and
obvious that
Listen to the speaker. The speaker is about to intervene.
it doesn't
Minister,
matter
we're
what the
asking.
rules of the parliament are. You are not going to ask questions.
It doesn't matter what the rules of the parliament are. Miss Burchell, don't observe them. No, this is a first time MP. A first time MP in the parliament. And this is her behavior. She don't observe the rules of the parliament. She just get up and chat. And I understand the speaker may, a little latitude, no problem, especially in the aftermath of a hurricane. But my God. So the speaker is now intervening and saying to her, listen, it doesn't matter what the rules of the parliament are. You're not going to observe them, Miss Burchell? Listen to her response.
You heard questions, Minister?
That's what her response is to the minister. You heard questions, Minister? She don't address the speaker, The speaker is speaking to her about her behavior, her out of order behavior. And by out of order, I mean she's not following the standing orders. She's drawing attention to herself and rambling along. And the speaker intervenes to say to her, member, come on. You're not observing the rules. She don't respond to the speaker. Oh, no, she asks
You need to ask questions instead of make another presentation.
She's making a presentation. Yes?
You heard questions?
Along with presentation.
Can we get
So you have to
Yamhead?
formulate good
Question
questions.
mark at it.
You hear that? You hear that? I tell you. I wonder if Miss Burchell is subtly calling someone Yamid. Is she? Wow. Miss Burchell? Listen to it again.
Lens. But of course, the good old fertilizer to seeds, the good old fertilizer, we need to know how you're going to be getting that to us. I was in conversation with the people in Niagara and Garlands on Sunday night, and I told them that we have to get up now and go back to farming, and we have to lead the way, and they say they are prepared. So I'm asking you to come, give us the seedlings, but also we need the fertilizer so we can shoot up and get through the spring quickly. With respect to livestock support, I won't speak to that. We lost so, I don't know if we're included in the million that you assessed, but
Let me ask you a question. Why would a first-time MP go into Parliament and almost seem to be dominating the opposition benches? Why? Is Miss Burchell interested in becoming leader of the People's National Party? Or Miss Burchell is just hubristic? Is this a hubristic woman setting up herself for a spectacular fall? Because she's not reading the room at all. And I hate to say this to the folks over there in southern St. James. This is not representation. Miss Burchell is not representing you. Miss Burchell is representing herself. She is representing herself. It's not representation. But she's queen of South. She's queen of the South. By the way. By the way, You know, somebody said something to me about South. I won't oh boy.
Oh
She's the queen of the South.
gosh, I can't believe me. Hi, boy, I tell you something. This is all very.
I'd love to talk to Miss Burchell. I would love to talk to Miss Burchell. You know, I really would love to talk to Miss. Coming back to it, somebody said something to me about this. I understand that the men in Southern St. James were blown away. Blown away. This is now. Coming back to that from the, but we got to that. Back to the tape. Go back to Miss Burchell. Let's hear her. Yep, here is it.
South St. James is livestock country.
It is very obvious
Speaker has intervened. It is very obvious, the speaker says,
that it
Minister, we're asking
that it does not matter
the rules of the parliament are.
what the rules of the parliament are.
You are not going to ask questions.
You are not going to ask questions. Okay? So Mrs. Holness is pointing out to her that, is telling her that she don't observe the rules of parliament. She don't care about the rules. Right? She got up and she's makes her statements and she's carrying on.
You heard questions, Minister?
That's her first mistake. Her first sign of rudeness. She doesn't address the speaker. Couldn't care what the, and I don't know why the minister at that time did not correct Miss Burchell and tell Miss Burchell to address the speaker. Now the speaker can't be addressing you and you're addressing the minister. In other words, I am asking the question of the minister, not asking them, not dealing with you. What the dickens is going on in the parliament? From a first-time MP. I don't know what is happening here. Now, if I were speaker, you know, Miss Burchell, you couldn't get away with that. I can tell you. You would never get away with that. And you know, Miss Burchell, if you were operating in the parliament in England, I don't know if you would be elected. So that's another matter.
You need to ask questions instead of
You need to ask questions rather than making statements.
make another presentation
You heard questions?
along with presentation.
Can we get
So you have to
Yamhead?
formulate good
Question
questions.
mark at it.
That's it. Can we get Yamhead? Question mark at the end. What a rudeness. Now, Miss Burchell lectured Mr. Smith about similes and metaphors. And I don't know if you listened when I pointed out that Miss Burchell was incorrect. You see? When she lectured Mr. Dwayne Smith about the use of similes and metaphors. And Mr. Smith was indeed correct when he tried to correct her that the Prime Minister did not say that there were soldiers rappelling down ropes. Miss Burchell dismissed it as similes and metaphors. Clearly, Miss Burchell herself is not aware in what context Smith was speaking, or Miss Burchell is unaware of proper usage of English. But Mr. Smith, he never responded either. Like I say, him thinks that Miss Burchell was correct. Miss Burchell was not correct, sir. And if you were a student of English, you would have pointed out to Miss Burchell that she was wrong. But that's okay. And here is Miss Burchell again, addressing the speaker and asking the speaker if Yamhead question mark is not a question. What is Miss Burchell saying? Has she clarified? Because her vloggers are interpreting that to mean that she's referring to the speaker as a yamhead. Is that correct, Miss Birchall? Is that what you were intending to do? Because you're a woman steeped in the use of linguistic and language. And you are allowed to get away with that?
The end.
No,
Minister.
And her colleagues laughed. What on God's earth is this? I find it incredulous. All right, let's listen a little bit more of that.
We're asking
what the rules of the parliament are, you are not going to ask questions.
You heard questions, Minister?
You need to ask questions instead of make another presentation.
You heard questions?
Along with presentation.
Can we get
So you have to
Yamhead?
formulate good
Question mark at the end.
No.
All right.
Remember,
Here's another.
If you are going to ask questions, you cannot make presentation, then you ask a question. Make another presentation, then you ask a question. Make another presentation, then you ask a question.
How many
The
words are
idea
in a
behind
question? I don't
statement
know.
by
Am I limited by
right.
words? All right. Will the minister?
And she's there longing out her tongue. I tell you something. A country spells disaster. You know the rest of that quote? I'll leave it alone. Miss Birchall is obviously shocked that she is now sitting in the parliament. Shocked. She's beside herself. Can't believe that a little girl from St. James is now sitting in parliament. The position has gotten to her head and it is driving her crazy. And I would advise Miss Birchall to sit down and learn the rules of parliament. And if you are going to be successful, Miss Birchall, as a member of parliament, stop it. Stop it. You're going to hurt your people. Quite obviously, you don't know politics. You're a baby to this.
Minister.
The Speaker of the House is the wife of the Prime Minister. Hint. Hint. And the ministers that you are asking the questions, you need them to help you get things to your people in South St. James. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish.
Minister, are you aware that the bananas and the plantains that we lost in South St. James, do you know, Minister, that there are pesticides and bugs that we are not used to that we're now seeing in the field? But Minister, do you know if you will be able to provide some pesticides to us to help us to fight these things? And Minister, are you aware that if these inputs are not provided now?
Listen to that question. Foolish. Do you know if you will be able to provide pesticides? You know, please. Minister, do you know if you will be able to provide pesticides? Is that a question? Is that a question?
we will not have banana and plantains in Montego Bay and Charles Garden Market by spring. So, Minister, I'm asking this question of you. Could you please prioritize South St. James, use us as the model for farming, redevelopment and recovery after Hurricane Melissa? Question mark closes that.
Isn't the absurdity? Her presentation is riddled with absurdities. Foolishness. Foolishness. Anyway, that is that, and I thought that I would start with that because it is important. No, someone sent me a video today, which I was planning to play for you, but it is riddled with profanity. And so, because of the students and children that are listening, a lady called me this morning to say that her 10-year-old daughter sent the request to talk to me. 10-year-old. I will not play it. Suffice it to say that I am being accused of saying that the government is not to build back houses in St. Elizabeth. And I'm going to double down on God's child Toya, 13-year-old is listening to. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for making the children listening to me. I feel good about that. That I am telling the government not to build back houses in St. Elizabeth. And I'm not going to resile from what I have said. I will only repeat it for those who are hard of hearing. Comrades, if you're hard of hearing, take out your tape. Take out your tape, man. I see you sending Mr. Floyd Morris to look at houses that are destroyed. Floyd Morris. And Floyd Morris is coming out to say that him see them. Him see the house. him see the house them that are, you know, and him say him see drywall and all that. Now Mr. Floyd Morris is visually impaired. But Mr. Floyd Morris is the man that the PNP sent to look at the hurricane.
Very exciting.
Mr. Floyd Morris is the man that the PNP sent out to look at the hurricane. Boy, the comrades, the comrades never seem to amaze me. They send Mr. Floyd Morris to look at the damage.
Oh gosh, I can't believe me high. Boy, I tell you something. This is all very exciting.
Big up, Professor. Big up. Anyway. Yes. The PNP, they have a concept. They have a concept of a plan coming out, you see? Led by Mr. Damian Crawford. He's the man. He's the man that the PNP is giving the plan to write the report. The report of the comrades, you know, making me laugh tonight. Take it easy with me, okay? No. What I have said is that the government is not responsible to build back the people's houses. The government of Jamaica is not responsible to build back no house. And that me say. And that me mean. And I don't know that the government get any money to build back no house. And not the government responsible for build back no house. Listen, you must go up in the woodland, go chop wood, shave it off, and make rafters to build back your house. Because government no have money for themselves. The money that the government have is taxpayers' money, my money, and the people of Jamaica. And some of you not pay no tax. So don't tell me rubbish about government must build back on a house. No cost. That is not on. Woodland about that. You go up there, see one rafters, chop it down, shave it off, put up back your roof. Send abroad to your auntie and your uncle and ask them if them can send $200 to you or so forth, and you help buy a shooter sinky. Make some do for yourself. That's your responsibility. Okay? Not the government. Government is responsible to build back the schools, the hospitals, the clinics, fix the road, the markets. That is the responsibility of the government. But when it comes on to your house or your yard, that is no government responsibility. I for your house that. And what you may have to do is you may have to get 2 sheets of tarpaulin, cover it up till you can get one money to put on back the zinc. Or you ask your uncle, your boyfriend, or some other person to help you put in back your thing. Because then, if the government responsible to build back your house, a government responsible to buy back the TV, we wet up, and the bed and the mattress were wet up. That's all. And your settee were wet up. By the way, some of these houses, you see, the people them shoes were in their house more expensive than the house where they were living now. The shoes them were wet up, cost more than the house. I tell you something. I tell you, people don't have no priority. Someone know how you feel living at them the house there with them the big massive flat screen TV. Why you not take the money where you use by the flat screen TV, put on one proper roof on the house? Because the priorities were wrong. And you have to learn to. So the government must now come and put back your TV and replace all of your clothes them and your Gucci bag. The government must buy back your Gucci bag. And your eyelash then. Is that you telling me? And your wig. Government must buy back your wig. We wash away. That's how you go. It's not that. That's, and I'm not being you have to take bad something make laugh. If you don't laugh when you see a lady slip on a banana peel, you see, you end up down a Bellevue. You have to laugh. Yeah? Your shorts and your sneakers, expensive thing that. So government must replace it. Can't be. No. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men were created equal, that they were endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, among them the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. That's what government exists to do. Build back the hospitals, build back the clinics, build back the schools. Okay? And the infrastructure. Clear the roads. But when it comes on to your house, what the government can do is to assist you. So then, if the government have vouchers that they can assist you with a $50,000, and you know, that's all right. But not to take on that responsibility. That's not the government's responsibility. That is what I have said, comrades, and that is what is the truth. That is not something that we must resile from. All right. So, for those of you who want clarity on that, there you go. Now, we can't expect that the government is going to take it all on, because we are asking the people of Jamaica to subsidize it. The government don't have any money for themselves. Right? That's not on. And I am very empathetic to the needs of the people. I understand the struggles and the suffering. I do. And I know that the government is going to do what it can to provide support. Okay? But don't think that this is a government responsibility. A government responsibility at all. We had a disaster, or we have a disaster. We had a disaster. And therefore, it's a partnership. It has to be a partnership between communities, individuals, and the government. Okay? But to sit down and suggest that you are waiting on the government is not the right approach. No. The schools can wait on the government. The hospitals have to wait on the government. The clinics have to wait on the government. The roads have to wait on the government. The police stations have to wait on the government. Not the individuals. Individuals have to seek out help, maybe from government, but from other individuals, friends, to put their lives back together again. Now, I am not suggesting that government can't help. Yeah, you notice that government gives social housing. Everybody else have to pay a mortgage, you hear? And those people who get the social housing are those people who are dirt poor. This is not a socialist country, you know. We talk about we live in a democracy. But when it comes on to accepting responsibility, we want the government to step up to that. This is not socialism. I hear one little man on TikTok talking about government must send yellow bus, go step up the people them and carry them out of that situation. Utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. How you got send yellow bus? Go in one parish. Go take up people and carry them and put them where? You think these are just puss kitten? You think it's puss kitten that you just creep up and load up on a bus and carry them, go put them down somewhere? That don't work. These are individuals. Right? They want to build back their lives where they are. And when they leave their place, yeah, what happened to it? Come on, man. Think about what you're saying. By the way, I never know that people went on yellow buses to go vote. That's what the brother was suggesting, that that somehow people went on yellow buses to vote. You know, some people just talk because they have mouth. They're not talking no sense. Let me see if I can find it. Here is it. Turn it up.
This is in all seriousness. Can we get the people out of these places in all seriousness? The same yellow buses that brought many voters to the polls.
Which yellow bus brought people to the polls to vote? Answer? Which yellow bus? Yours? You send any yellow bus out there to the polls to vote? I didn't know that. The first I hear say yellow bus take people to the polls to vote. Yeah. Which yellow bus? Listeners, you ever see a yellow bus taking people to the polls to vote? Now, if you're talking about taking people to meetings, but me not know that JUTC was part of the electioneering of the parties that took people to vote. Man, talk rubbish.
Can we mobilize those JUTC buses to carry these people out of the muck and the disgrace and the unhealthy conditions and bring them to where we have clean, running, drinking water?
Which is where? Where is it that we have in Kingston to put the people where clean running water is? Where is that happening? Yeah, and the people tell you, say they want to come into Kingston or wherever. Where are we going to take them and put them? As I said today, you know, we are behaving as if to say there is to be no inconvenience to the we sympathize with them, but let's be realistic, guys. There is going to be some amount of inconvenience, some delays, some setbacks. It's a natural disaster. It is a disaster that we have had. A disaster is a disaster. Okay? And what governments have to do is to respond reasonably to alleviate the suffering. Because people have been suffering in this country here for years under PNP leadership and management. Okay? And now their suffering has been is more worse now with the disaster. Some of them are going to be better off, you know. Some of these same people are going to be better off. As I told you the other night, all things work together for good. Some of them are going to get back better houses and whatever. Yeah. But you can't take them up, put them in a buses and carry them where? At the National Arena? Is that where they're going to go? The National Stadium? I wonder how many people in Westmoreland listening to this, if a bus goes down there tonight, would get on it. You think that the people are going to walk away from their houses because it don't have no roof? They are trying to put on back their roof to stay in their houses, to stay in the house. Man, don't talk foolishness. Anyway, and then you have this. The
response so far in education in your sector. Are you satisfied with what's happening, and what, if anything, do you want to see?
Satisfied is a hard term because I think time must be allowed, and it's not. There will be a day to review the government's actions, but I don't think today is the day. The People's National Party is drafting our own plan that we will submit to the government and we'll also make public. However, I think
that's the response from the opposition. Critical of the government, but don't have any plan. Now, the government and opposition had the same amount of time to prepare the country for the disaster. The disaster was bigger than any one of us expected. It caused more damage than all of us expected. And therefore, the response is greater than all of us anticipated or expected. And before the opposition join with the country in this time of national crisis, they are criticizing it. And they don't have a plan. And the best the PNP can say is that they're working on it. It's a pipeline party, you know. It's a pipeline party, you know. Because all of their plans have always been in the pipeline. And all know it can't come out. Pipeline. It's in the pipeline. So they have moved from pipeline under Pickersgill to drafting under Crawford. Because for Bobby, it was always pipeline. It was always in the pipeline. The PNP's plans have always been in the pipeline. You'll never see any plan yet. As a matter of fact, they went into an election one year without a manifesto. And under Bobby Pickersgill, it's amazing that Mr. Crawford is now in the same seat that Mr. Pickersgill is. He's a pipeline man, you know, Bobby. He's always talking about it is in the pipeline. And now Mr. Crawford, it is being drafted. I wonder how long he's going to take to draft this. Mr. Crawford, how long are you going to take to draft the plan? We're at the 15th of November. When was the hurricane? And you want to tell me that the best the PNP can come with is a draft? They're drafting a plan. You know, sit down with the government, man. Sit down with the government and share your ideas. What the Dickens you talk about plan? What plan can you come with now? Plan for what? Why are you drafting a plan? What are we to do with a plan? Huh? You're not the government, so why you coming with a plan? Plan for what? And so the admission that they are still drafting a plan to address the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa more than 2 weeks after the disaster raises very serious questions about their seriousness and commitment to providing solutions. If you were serious to provide solutions, you wouldn't be talking about a plan now. You would be telling the people of Jamaica what is in the damn plan. That's what we need. We don't want to hear. I mean, can you imagine flying in a plane and the pilots, the plane develops a problem. Mayday, mayday. And there's a distress call. And the pilots say they're drafting the plan. We don't need no plan now. You talking about people are suffering? You in parliament crying? Miss Burchell is in there making a fool of herself. And you're talking about drafting the plan. Where is it? You're working on the plan? Huh? One would expect that the opposition to have a plan ready, especially given the urgency of the situation. You call press conference, so you never have no plan? When you call the press conference, you never have a plan? So why you went to the press conference? So when you ask for the $50 million per, you never have any plan for it. So how were you planning to spend that money? That you don't have the plan? Is who the pan up here tell me about say it be serious? Huh? What? Who this? Is who this? What is who this? Who this tell me about it me? If me serious. I'm serious. It is astonishing. Yeah? It is astonishing that they are still in the process of drafting a plan. While Jamaicans are still reeling from the devastating impact of the hurricane, the PNP is drafting a plan. I have no plan, you know. But they have their surrogates, their vloggers and bloggers online, chewing vitriol, spewing hatred, having all types of things to say. And all they have right now is a concept of a plan. What an embarrassment upon a party that sought government less than 2 months, just over 2 months ago. One would expect that you would have some idea, some suggestions as to what to do. And what experience Mr. Crawford has or have in disaster management? The lack of urgency and preparedness is concerning, to say the least. Will the plan be ready this week? Will the plan be ready next week? Or the plan will be ready in January? I will hazard a guess that they don't have a plan. I bet you that they don't have a plan. That is bluff. Mr. Crawford was there bluffing and trying to give the impression that somehow there is anything happening. Not a plan, non-draft. But I'm going to ask again. I'm going to ask about this plan, Mr. Crawford. So if you're not start write it yet, write it. Because we have the tape and we're going to keep playing it and ask about this plan that you say you have. You are the spokesman on education, are you not? Prospective candidate for president. Are you going to be challenging? Are you going to be challenging for leadership, sir? What is clear, you see, is that you're not prioritizing the needs of the people. 2 weeks is an eternity in crisis management. You cannot wait 2 weeks. I mean, can you imagine if the government had said that? Can you imagine if the government had said, And where is media in Jamaica? Where is media in Jamaica to hold the opposition accountable for this recklessness and this carelessness? Huh? Where is media? And where is the Labour Party people? Why are they not talking about it? 2 weeks is an eternity in crisis management. You can't wait 2 weeks to come up with a plan. You have to have your plan ready. And every moment counts when it comes to providing relief and support to those affected. So people in Westmoreland, PNP said they don't have no plan. So, no me say so. It's them say so. The approach seems more focused on politics than substance. They are more interested in grandstanding and scoring political points than providing real solutions to the problems facing the nation. This is evident in their lack of concrete plan and their spokesperson's vague comment. Now, the journalists on CVN, listen to him.
That the general approach have been grandstanding by the government, almost to say that we are great, and not necessarily to say that there is an issue here and we want to fix it.
Also,
So,
because they are saying, hey, I mean, listening to Dr. Kassan Troop there saying, listen, whatever the issues.
So that's what you get for journalism. He doesn't follow up with Crawford and asks about the plan. He moves right along to talk about what Dr. Troop says. Now, this man here who is doing this interview, I hear getting a lot of credit. But credit for what? Credit for what? You can't have a man telling you about a plan in a crisis and you don't ask him to tell you some more about that plan. No, man, that's the interview. Right there, sir. You hold him accountable. Yeah? You hold him accountable. You say, well, oh, I'm happy to hear about this plan, Mr. Crawford. Tell me a little bit more about it. Give me some more details on this plan. When will the plan be ready? Who is writing the plan? How far are you in the plan? You don't ask that. Crawford is let off the hook. But you know, Jamaica deserves better. Jamaica deserves better. Better than politicians who are more concerned with their own interests than with the welfare of the people. We need leaders who are committed to providing solutions, not just talking points. Because how can you criticize something that you don't have the plan for? Baby, we love you. Eh? Baby, me love you. That can yam. What plan you have, brother? You have some man. You know, you have some man. All they have a lyrics. And you know how many women have fallen for men and their lyrics? You know, women, they are emotional and they like to feel good. And so the man come and tell her how she shaped nice. Girl, you look nice. Your body ready and you. Yeah, man. Not nothing. Don't have nothing. And when she gives into that, she find out that is an empty pocket. Empty pocket can yam. You can get a girl with sweet words, you know, brother, but sweet word can't keep her. Cause tomorrow morning when her period come and she need a pack of stay free, you can't even buy that. Sweet nonsense talking points. The PNP's plan, whenever it finally is here, will likely be too late. Comrades, your plan will be a little too late. I see Diana Morris Dixon going around the country, looking at the schools. Mr. Crawford, if you were serious about, you would be going on those tours with her. Get up and go on the tours, then, man, and sit down up talking about plan. That's what you need to do. Ask the minister, can you accompany her on the tours? And you go to you don't need a separate tour, brother. You go on the tours with the minister. You meet the principals. Yes. You look at what the schools are. The damage done to the schools. You engage teachers on the ground. That's what you need to do. The people of Jamaica need action, not a bag of mouth. Not words, man. Work. We don't need words. We need work. We don't need words. We need walk. You have to walk. No. They need concrete steps to address the crisis, not just empty rhetoric. Right? So if you really wanted to work on a plan, you go on the tours, you make your own notes, and you share the notes with the minister. Say, minister, prioritize this, prioritize that. I must tell you that the PNP's handling of this crisis is a very poor reflection of their leadership. They are more concerned with their own interest, it appears, than with the people they are supposed to represent. I see George Wright over in Westmoreland complaining that the aid coming into Westmoreland back from PNP people are going to PNP people. And on me says so, George says so. And you notice that the PNP is so focused on Westmoreland. Yeah? You know why? You know why? So focused on Westmoreland. Boy, I tell you, man. I am told that I must go to my callers. I was hoping that I could go on for another half an hour, I have so much to say. I have so much to say tonight, but I suspect that I will have to get back to it. Moderator, what we must do? Hold on there. Give me a little more. Give me a little. By the way, I want you to get in touch with Caroline, my moderator. We need to get some sponsors for our road tour coming up. We are asking listeners to purchase a case of water and to contribute to our going into Trelawney, St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland. Do what you can do. If all of you give $20, we can do this, okay? Can you give 20, 40, 50, 100? Please get in touch with Caroline right now. Tell her what you can do. Let's do this for the Politics Plus road tour in the aftermath of aftermath of Melissa. We want to go into the communities and see for ourselves what is happening. What is the response of the government? Is it true, some of the things that we are hearing? We want to do a tour in all the parishes. We want to do this next week. Please get in touch with Caroline right now and tell her what you can do to make this happen for us. We're seeking sponsors to go into Trelawney, to go into St. Elizabeth, and to go into Westmoreland. Your neighbor on KC wants to do a road tour. That's St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, and Trelawney. Yeah. Covering those 4 parishes. Can't do it without you, I must tell you. Please, go ahead. Yeah, we're going into, all of them. All of them. Need security? No, man. God, we don't need a security. Do we need security to do that? So I want to take some water. All right, St. Elizabeth, Bridget, St. Elizabeth. Yeah, man, we want to take some water to, well, we don't want to we're not taking any food with us. Maybe some water, maybe a few snacks for the kids. So as we go along, if we see children and so forth, we wanna do something, you see. So we're asking you to see if you can contribute some water, a case of water, $12.50. Most can do that, man. Come on. Of course, we need gas and so forth. So we're asking you to sponsor the road tour for us. So here, please. Whatever space we have in the vehicle, we can take as much water as we can, you see. Please, Caroline, are you there? Where's my moderator? Please, Caroline is going to be posting the account, the Zelle account and the Cash App account. If you are in Canada, we can take an e-transfer. Remember, we're not asking you no full thing. We are going in and we need water. Case of water. We don't. So we can give bottles of water on our way, okay? Jacqueline Peters, if you want to do it locally, text 876-858-9553 and we'll send you the account, okay? 876-858-9553. We'll send you an account that you can make that deposit to purchase water and to sponsor the road tour. Okay? All right. Let me spend a little bit more time on that. 9:31. No, I can't go up to Price Mart, It's $12.50 for a case of water where I am. $12.50. We're not taking a whole water, just water. So the water. So the Zelle account and the I'm not seeing that, but Zelle Cash App, e-transfer in Canada. Water per case, $6.50. No man, that's so cheap. You know, before I go to the callers, I heard Caroline raise a matter today about the PNP's time comes slogan. Never heard it put like this. Give me a second. It's a master class, you see, in ideological capture. It's a capture. You know, it's an ideological capture masquerading as a call to empowerment, but in reality, it's a veiled assertion of ownership and control. This time come slogan, it's an ideological capture. Masquerading as a call for self-empowerment. You know, I will get back to that. Caroline, please, let me get my first caller for the night. We have 24 minutes. Let me get my first caller. Please, go ahead, please, Caroline. First caller, go ahead. One at a time, please. Give each person about 3, 4. DJ, go ahead, sir.
Hey, how you doing, neighbor? It's been a while. Yeah, man. We have spoken prior to election, but since election, I have not spoken to you, but I've been listening in. And your epilogue was very, very good. You're on point for most of the times. In fact, you're on point all of the times because you're making some salient points. Because it's just an embarrassment. Because whether we have to accept that the opposition is a part of our democracy and our political system, and as such they represent Jamaica. And it's really an embarrassment to see how they are treating the situation that we are facing here.
Yes.
And in many conversations I would have had, with persons, I would have said to them, this is the worst I've seen an opposition in Jamaica.
Yes.
And people were trying to take me back down the road of the 70s and the 80s. But I keep saying that you're missing the point. The 70s and the 80s, and even in the 90s, what we had was some very strong pre-election campaigning. During the campaign, yes, would have some serious aspirations and all that is been done. But as soon as the elections are over, we saw where the opposition would have gone back to being the opposition who will debate policies and try to present an alternative to what the government is doing. Yeah, You don't have this concerted effort of degrading and demeaning and slandering of the government members and the Prime Minister. No other Prime Minister has undergone what Jonas has gone. And, you know, it really and truly is cause for concern, because the only thing left for this opposition to do is to descend this country into a civil unrest. And thank God for
civil unrest.
Civil unrest. Yes.
What are you saying to?
By their rhetorics, the only thing left for them to do is start a civil war, because they want power to overthrow the government. My take remain, as it were, during leading up to the election, is that what the PNP, and every time I say it, I irks to call it the PNP, because this is not the PNP. The Rise United, who is under the banner of the PNP right now, right? What they are doing is tantamount to a coup. The only thing left for them to do is to physically enact their actions. You understand me? Because, I mean, come on now, neighbor. We have had an election. The election is done and dusted. The reality is that the government of the Jamaica Labour Party was returned to run the country. What the opposition needs to do is to sort themselves out, look at their mistakes, look at their missteps, look at what they didn't do properly, and then try to make sure that when the next cycle comes around, they can present themselves as a viable option, because that's what good and true democracy is all about. Yes? So therefore, the end of the day, the idea is as such. No. The idea is as such where what we want is the best for Jamaica. And what we are seeing right now from the opposition, the best for Jamaica right now is for this Jamaica Labour Party-led government to continue, because the PNP, as you said earlier, there's no substance in the PNP. All they are is, as you alluded to, some man a sweet talk, some woman with empty pockets. Can you imagine, neighbor? Can you imagine if the PNP was successful at the post-September 3 and have to face this disaster that we have here? When you listen to their rhetorics and look at their actions, it tells exactly just how they would have approached the situation. And when you take it up and look at it, all you would have seen is that on top of the disaster that Melissa would have brought upon us, they would have multiplied it tenfold by their actions and attitude. Yeah? I say this to say, I brought up the example in some discussions I've had. Right? The example of 1988 after Gilbert. Yes? What we saw was both political parties coming together. Michael Manley would have gone to one end of the island, while the Prime Minister would have gone on the other end, so they can cover the island and understand what happened, and then move together to rebuild the country. We're not having it here. We're not having it now. What we are having is people, the PNP and their surrogates, finding every way and mean to discredit the government as to what they are doing. And the government is doing a tremendous job. By all accounts, they are doing a tremendous job at it, and it goes to show by virtue of what the international community have done. Without even a call from the government for assistance, they voluntarily present themselves as help. Yeah? And why is that so? Because while the PNP is trying to paint the government as inadequate and can't do what they must do, they saw that the country have at its helm a leader who knows what he's doing, and as such, they are supporting him. They're not listening to to what the PNP propaganda and defamation is all about, because they are seeing something different. Man, I don't know, but it's just disheartening on top of what has happened in Western Jamaica. It's just disheartening to see that people who are putting themselves up as leaders, they are, some of them, on the other side I'm talking about, are trying to multiply the problems that Jamaica are facing right now, when that should not be. I rest here for now while others come in.
DJ, thank you so much. You here, sir? Thank you so much for calling. All right,
Yeah.
great to hear from Maestro. He's a fantastic caller. Let's go to the other caller we have online. Good night to you, Vandora. Good night. Hello. Vandora Jump. Reminding our listeners, we are asking you to contribute to the road trip that the program wants to embark on next week. We are asking for sponsors to go to Trelawney, to Westmoreland, to St. James, to St. Elizabeth, and to Hanover. And on our trip, would like to take along cases of water. So we're asking you if you can contribute to us doing that, both the road trip as well as helping with some water. Okay, can you do that for us? Great.
Vandora, could you unmute your mic, please?
All right. So if you are going to, if you are able to do that, then you have to let us know how to get the information to you or you to us. If you are in Jamaica and you want to help, 876-858-9553. You want to come along with us? Well, I don't know if we have space, but good night, Caroline.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Hi.
We have a caller on here, user. So go ahead.
Good night, caller. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hey, boy.
Good night, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. I thought we were off tonight.
Well, you know, sir, I got a call that I need to be on, and I just have to, because I don't want to cause no problem.
Oh, because when we were leaving last night, you said meet you on Sunday.
Yes,
so I wasn't even paying keen attention to what's going on because I was just upstairs resting after I came in today from church.
Oh, yes.
So what's happening?
We're on. We don't have a lot of time, so take your time now.
All right, because I heard you soliciting help for the journey you're gonna make.
Yes, we
on the southwestern side of the island in coming days or weeks. I'm not sure when is that, but I really want to see how I can help to facilitate that.
Yeah, well, the Politics Plus team had a little meeting today, and we said, let's see how much we can go into the areas and find out for ourselves what exactly is happening, so that we can report how the recovery process is going,
and to bring accurate reporting.
We want to talk to some of the people. We want to do some interviews and see exactly what is happening. We want to do that this week coming up, and we don't want to go empty-handed. So when we stop on different points, we are saying that if we even have some snacks and some water, we could stick a bottle of water in the hand of people who may want one. That's what
right.
For you.
Well, that's a good initiative right there.
Yes.
I mean, everyone is doing what they can, so if you can get a team lined up to kind of help you facilitate that's going to be good.
Yeah, man. We're going to do
a good gesture.
Yeah. Casey came along. Casey's going to be coming along with me and probably a few others. If you're in Jamaica, 876-858-9553. That's 876.
What about Scratchy? Will he be joining the team?
Scratchy is actually off the island, you know. He's in your country, Canada.
Oh, he's up here in Canada as well.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But I know that he will be with us in other ways.
Yes, indeed, yes.
But we have e-transfer in Canada, so if you can do that, then talk to Caroline and she will. She's coordinating this for us.
Right. Once I get the detail, I'm good. But okay. I will inbox her.
All right, great, fantastic.
To get the detail on that.
Fantastic.
So what was the discussion about? As I said, I just opened up the phone and I saw a neighbor. I said, "But I thought you were off."
Yeah. No. I really was doubling down on a statement I made for which I am being criticized because I have said that the government is not responsible to build back people's house or houses. Government is responsible to build back schools and water supplies and clinics and fix roads. Government can assist people in putting their lives back together. But
right, that's what I was about to say to you. It's not that they are responsible, but they can give assistance where needed to kind of facilitate the rebuilding process. So that's
and I'm sure they're going to do that.
Of course. I remember last year when we had burial in St. Elizabeth as well, the government they helped to facilitate the rebuilding effort by who can get a couple sheets of zinc, get it, who can get a check, get it to go to the hardware. I remember that. So I think once the dust starts settled, people will start seeing that come on stream. I was listening to one program where they were talking even last night on our program here, when we were talking about the farmers and how we're going to get the resources to the farmers, especially in St. Elizabeth and in Trelawney area and even in the southern side of St. James. Those three parishes that were severely affected. Somebody says, I think it was Casey who said that based on the fact that the government know that agriculture plays a very important part in the Jamaica economy, then they're gonna want to get on board with that as soon as possible, because even neighbor on my side over in Southeast St. Elizabeth, the Junction area, the Flagaman area, the Top Hill, the South Hill, those areas are predominantly known for growing the fruits and the vegetables. You know what I mean? The watermelon, the cucumber, the tomatoes, everything. Nothing is there right now, and that's what I'm calling for the farmers to kind of get the resources that are needed right now to kind of get the farm back up and running, so that even in the spring we can start seeing something coming in. Cucumber in St. Elizabeth takes 6 weeks before they can be reaped. Tomato takes 7 to 8 weeks, 9 weeks the most before you can start picking. Watermelon is the same. Those are fast crops. And that's what I am pleading and begging that the government, Floyd Green is the Minister of Agriculture, along with my MP in St. Elizabeth, who works in that ministry as well, Frank Witter. I think they should be spearheading that to get the farmers back up and running, get the good old fertilizer, get the good old seed. You know what I mean? And get things up and rolling. And I guarantee you, neighbor, that by early March, April,
the good old
St.
seed.
Elizabeth should be start booming once the farmers get whatever is needed.
The good old seeds, sir.
Yes, man, the good old melon seed and the tomato seed and the cucumber seed. We need it. We need it.
Yeah. The girl them need seed. What farming we talking about? Farming we talking about.
Yeah, man, the farm, neighbor, they know exactly what we're talking about. Don't worry.
Yeah. There are some ladies in St. Elizabeth, so they need some good seed.
All right. Yes, somebody said fly. Okay, fly green is the worst. I don't know why they said that, but whatever. He's a ministry. He's in the ministry, so we just have to wait, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And then, you know, sir, CVM did an interview with Mr. Crawford, and Mr. Crawford said that the PNP is drafting a plan, sir. I mean, can you imagine this young?
No, but remember, we had that discussion last night in the neighbor where they said that they're drafting a plan, and we have deliberated on that point that at this time there should not be any drafting of a plan or a concept of a plan. There should have been a plan, and that plan should be a working plan, not only for the People's National Party, but in collaboration with the Jamaica Labour Party to get the country up and running. So we're not going to focus on Damian Crawford right now.
Would it not be nice though if we saw the ministers of government with their opposition counterparts? Wouldn't it be nicer if you see when Dana Morris Dixon is going around that you see Damian Crawford there also? Would it
Absolutely, and I think she is doing a tremendous job in getting the information out there and pulling in the necessary people who are head of some of these department or industry, or you know, and getting people live and updated information. I think Damian being in education as well as Dana should be working in conjunction, having the same goal, having the same purpose, and having the same mindset of rebuilding and letting Jamaica move. But again, as I've always said on the program, it's two political parties that run Jamaica. The People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party. Same thing here in Canada. Two parties that runs here. We had a third one, but they're no longer because they didn't get the quota when we had the last election. And we have the Liberal and the Conservative Party that are the two main parties in the House of Commons there in Ottawa. And yes, so in every country we tend to have this, but whenever we are in crises like what we are facing now in Jamaica, I think it is time now to put away politics, neighbor. That's what I have been preaching. That's what I have been talking about. Put away politics and focus on the rebuilding effort. Focus on rebuilding Jamaica to be better than what it was before Melissa destroyed us. And that's what both PNP and the JLP need to do under the leadership of Dr. Michael Andrew Holness, who will be going down in history as the GOAT, greatest of all time. I don't think there can be another prime minister in Jamaica that will be able to do the tremendous work that this prime minister have been doing, is doing, and will continue to do until we get into our fourth term in a few years' time.
I have to thank you tonight, sir. We have little limited time.
No problem, neighbor. I will be on tomorrow.
At 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. You catch us at 4 for the Sunday.
4 o'clock tomorrow.
And,
yes.
And please get in touch with Caroline. We need your contribution to get into St. Elizabeth. We're not going to be bringing any seed into St. Elizabeth. So when we land into St. Elizabeth, ladies, we won't have any seat for you, okay? Omolo? Omolo? Hello? No, he's not on. All right. Who else do we have online waiting to talk to us? Good night, King Tech. How you doing? Melo, how you doing? Ron Foster. Hi. Hello, Ron Foster. Hi. No planting suckers either. Ron Foster. Odette. Hi. Odette. Good night, Odette. Bust your bet. Take set panyaso. Good night to you, girl. Hi. How are you?
How are you?
Well, I'm not
good.
bad. You are good?
I'm just listening.
You are listening. Well,
Yes, sir.
You are live on Politics Plus with Hello Neighbor and Caroline, and you're talking to hundreds of people right now across the world, even in Australia. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Well, I know that. I know you are fine, but I just want to know what's on your mind. Hello?
Well, don't really anything. I have to say I'm applauding you for your good work that you're doing.
I am good.
That's all I have to say.
No, man. Where are you? Where in the world are you? Her line is not. Her line. The Bahamas. Well, the connection is a little bad. But we can work with that.
Hold on a minute. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm in the Bahamas. Yes,
we'll hold on. Stand strong.
Yeah, I'm in the Bahamas.
You're in the Bahamas. Well, that's a fantastic.
Okay.
That's a fantastic place.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd love to visit the Bahamas one day. Great place to holiday, not true?
Definitely.
You're a Jamaican.
Proudly.
Proud Jamaican. Yes. How is the storm being reported back there in the Bahamas? What is it that you guys are hearing?
Well, where I'm at, no, nothing never happened here, but like on the Keys, yeah, they get damage as well. Yeah, but I mean, not like Jamaican, but they did get some damage.
Right. Do you have families back home here, ma'am, in Jamaica?
Yes, I have 3 wonderful sons back home and my 4 grandkids.
Nice. You sound so young. I never thought you were a grandmother. Well, that's fantastic. Lovely. Lovely. Your husband is with you, no doubt, eh?
No, he is deceased.
Wow. Oh, my sincere condolences to you, ma'am. I trust that your heart has been mended and you're ready to move on.
Definitely.
Oh, you are? Wow. That's fantastic. 876-858-953 is our number here in Jamaica. If you want to get in touch with us, we can talk.
Okay.
Fantastic. Have you gotten the number?
Okay.
Now,
hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
You want to take the number? I know you would. Hold on.
Yes. Hold on a minute. The paper here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead. You
Hello.
876
Yeah.
876 858 9553
8
7 6. Huh? Oh, you're breaking up. You're breaking up, ma'am? Where she's gone? All right, miss, if you're listening, 876-858-9553. 876-858-9553. Come see, ma'am. You will not regret to come from halfway tree. We're not screen tonight. Okay. Little bit of time, lots of calls coming through on a Friday night, 3 minutes after 10 o'clock. Top of the night to you, George. 3.
Yes. Yes,
how are
sir.
you?
How are you?
By
I'm
the
doing
way,
pretty
I've
well.
heard from USA in a while. USA, want to talk to you, brother. Talk to me. George, how are you
Yes,
doing?
doing pretty well. I just have one concern, and I want to put it on your channel since a lot of people follow your live. The concern I have is I don't know if you remember or know. Well, you wouldn't remember, but you might know that after the 1907 earthquake, Jamaica's building code had to change significantly. We had gas lines in the street in Jamaica, just as you had them in North America and in Europe, and the buildings were made of wood. The earthquake flattened the buildings, and there was a fire immediately as a result of the gas lines being in the road. So,
Yes,
the
actually.
building, yeah, so the building codes were changed. I am saying that as a result of this catastrophic Category 5 hurricane, Jamaica needs a revision of their building codes. What do I mean? A lot of the houses that were destroyed, neighbor, I don't think that they were built with parish council approval. This is not a central government issue. This is a parish council issue. Houses were built in places that they were should never have been built. I am
Yeah. But
saying
is that
that
also a matter? Is that also a matter, sir, of economic empowerment or lack thereof?
no, it's regulations. I'm sure the rules are there, but people are not following the rules. This is a failure of the parish councils.
Yeah, but what
People,
I'm saying to you is that rules by themselves, sir, have to bear in mind, sir, another thing. If you can't afford even the plan, for example, I mean, how much does it cost to draft a plan to build a house in Jamaica? Enough money,
there are many ways to skin a cat, neighbor. I am saying you can have standard building plans that people follow. You can have a series of them that people
Do you
follow,
do you
either A,
do
B,
you
C, or
do you
D.
think the government really would allow the rebuilding of homes in areas that are prone to such devastation? Do you think the government is now going to allow that?
I am saying I don't know if the government is going to allow it, but they have allowed it in the past. They've allowed it in the past because of lax enforcement and not clear rules, even corruption, allowing people to build houses places that they shouldn't build. A matter of fact, not just along the sea coast, neighbor, I'm sure you'll appreciate that some of the houses were built on places where the land got eroded. It should not have been built there in the first place.
But that was also a reality in Kingston, St. Catherine too.
I don't say no. I don't say no. Some of even the housing schemes that government built, people got flooded out.
Yes, I see that too. But you're making a very good point, no doubt, sir. But how are we going to do that? Because that on its own is not going to solve the problem, because some of these people would need to be relocated to where?
all I'm saying is I hear you, and I know that there's a land scarcity issue, and I know that if we do it selectively, then there will be a higher cost for real estate where people can build. But some of the places, neighbor, when you look at where the flooding took place, they built the houses basically in a catchment basin. It's in a catchment basin where water is falling down off of the mountains and collecting where the houses have been built. It's just crazy.
Well, here is the opportunity, sir, for us to have a conversation. You have started that conversation in terms of how we are going to, because you know something, sir, and the government helped a lot of people in Beryl to put on back their roofs, and
Yes,
those roofs are gone again.
exactly.
Okay, so you are correct. We and the roads too, sir. Some of the roads that wash away, we have to look at how we are constructing them too. You know,
Right.
I am sure that if the hurricane had come in St. Catherine, Kingston, the highways that we have built by China Harbor, they would have stand up. We're not building the roads properly either, sir. The roads and our infrastructure will have to be built now to withstand certain category of disaster. It's just
Right.
must happen.
Right.
Yeah. And if your housing stock is poor, you know, some of these little houses that blow down, you're correct, sir. They are 60 years old. You understand me? You could have go there with a balloon and blow some down, some of them. You never took a category 5 to blow them down. They were just weak structures, sir.
Right.
And it's a conversation that we must have. We must have it, because whether in my lifetime or in the lifetime of the people to come after us, we are gonna get more hurricane. We are gonna get more.
Absolutely.
You understand me? You know, sir. When I was a boy growing up in the 70s, I used to hear my parents talk about 51 storm,
Right. Hurricane Charlie.
Charlie, and I had my first experience of a hurricane in Gilbert, 1988.
88, yes.
And since that time, sir, look how much have come. We
Right.
have the whole onset of global warming,
Right.
climate change, which is changing weather patterns. We are going to get more floods, more hurricanes, and we may even get earthquakes. We have to look at these things, sir. You are correct. Thank you so
Right.
much.
No problem. Good.
Fantastic. Okay. Guy Girl 2. Hello. Hello. Guy Girl 2. Harry is with us. We're gonna have to go to him soon. Karen Johnson. Karen Johnson. Johnson. Karen Johnson. No. Overcomer. Good night. Hello. Hello. Hello, Overcomer. Not there. Who else do we have? Who else do we have in the box?
Just Harry, neighbor. That's
Yes.
it tonight.
Okay, then 11 after 10. We close. So Harry,
Night, neighbor.
the caller before you raised the whole matter of examining building codes, ensuring that people build correctly and follow. That is going to for more discussion, you know, Harry, because relocating so many people is a costly encounter, eh?
I mean, it is in a neighbor, but sooner or later we had to have this conversation, right? It was coming, and it's just how we go about getting it implemented. Because you even raised a very important point to the caller, saying the cost of actually putting a plan, you know, drafting and all of that is rather expensive. And we know for persons, specifically that side of the island, based on the nature of their line of work and so on, it would prove too expensive. But as I said, sooner or later we had to have the conversation. It's just sad that this is how we have to have it.
Okay. Let me back you up, Harry. Is it not correct to say that hospitals, clinics, roads are primarily the government's responsibility to restore? But when it comes on to people's housing, government is not responsible for that. Is that not correct?
110%, neighbor, right? Because government is supposed to ensure that we have the resources, the infrastructure put in place for you to then take advantage and utilize these things to develop your personal life. Government was supposed to be there to come put on your roof and build your house. Then what else is going to be there, neighbor? That means
they must go buy furniture, put nights up on your bed, on your TV, we wash it and wake up. Government have to get in some flat screen TV. Yes, keep in some container loads of flat screen TV for Jamaican people. And whilst you're doing that, some wigs and some panties and briefs. Government must do that. Put on your panty and your brief. You know, Harry, I understand that there are going to be people that can't help themselves. Those are the ones the government must target to help, Harry. Don't you agree? Those who are really in need of the support.
Definitely, neighbor. Because remember, that's one of the things for the $10 million that the MPs also do have to use it for the persons who are most challenged because of what happened. So it's technically at their discretion for that part. But we won't hear that part of the discussion at all, neighbor. All right? All we're going to hear is $10 million is not enough to put on house and all of that. But those persons will need assistance. Now, it takes us to the part of the conversation is what type of assistance and how we assist them. That's what the government would be concerned about. But whosoever did have house they can throw up a hand cat and move, especially down at Westmoreland, because you had a lot of those houses, neighbor. I know somebody who meet him one day up on one little slope, and 3 months later we go visit with a flat. It's not the same place.
Now I hear them saying that the government get money to build back house. Is that true?
Boy, neighbor, yeah, you ever search for something on Google and it's still searching? I want to find where they get that from, because nowhere in the world they ever give stuff like that. What you will have is, and this has not been the case, is where you have NGOs coming in and so on to come and help build back some stuff. But that's not the case currently. So none of the government and institutions that have given and aided to this country has given that directive. That's not the case. Everything is here.
You don't know if the government getting any money to build back any house.
None whatsoever. And definitely can't be the cat band or the CRIP insurance. Nor is it from the money from the budget.
Okay, so you expect or you suspect that the monies from the cat bond will be used for like the restoration of the schools, the hospitals, building back roads, and helping your farmers and things like that, right?
Not just me thinking that, neighbor. Remember, I have the clip from Nigel. That is what he alluded to. That is, if a government cannot repair and improve these infrastructure after disaster, that is what threatens the existence of a government. That is what Nigel Clark was alluding to. Hence why we have to move into a cat band.
Yeah. Now, what about those people who will say to you, the people are priority. They are suffering. They need to get their lives back together. Why not address the people first? What about that argument?
But neighbor, if we address the people first, don't we also need the infrastructure so we can help them?
No, I want you to because this is the argument is help the people first. Don't leave the hospitals and the schools and the roads. Just get the people back. Is that a fair argument? Or do you have to arrive at some balance?
Neighbor, there has to be balance in everything you do, right? You can't, it's like you have a boat. You can't put all the weight on one side or it's like a capsize, right? No, I don't know if that's what the opposition needed time to do for draft them plan or whatever it is, but sensible thinking, and we use common sense. We're not try to go too in detail to lose nobody in depth in any infrastructure building neighbor. But it is basic knowledge that you cannot help the people without any form of infrastructure put back in place. Because let's say we build all of the house then, right? But we still have a health issue. But we have no hospitals, no clinic ready to take these people. There's no government that has done everything on one side and leave the other side in a neighbor. Everything has to be done almost in a synchronized way to also help the carrying capacity that is in the West.
Okay.
And hospitals currently cannot do that.
The argument that I'm hearing is that somehow the government need to assume the responsibility. In other words, become the insurer of the houses that have been destroyed of its citizens. Do you accept that the government ought to become the insurer of these homes?
No, neighbor, definitely not. Right? No government in Senegal live where you live, because I can tell you, for one, a lot of the land that persons are on, it's not their land, right? Specifically in Westmoreland, they're for estates and so on, right? But that's a conversation people don't want to have yet. The next thing is, we also know if you look at the building code, you should not be in certain areas.
Hold your point. There's a caller, moderator, Laugh say he wants to ask me a question. Is a man or a woman? You can ask the question, sir. Do you want to come up or do you want to put the question in the comment? Let me know what let me know what's happening. So that's Laugh. Come faster. We want to move on with Harry. 19 after 10 o'clock. Let's see what we can do. Talk to me. Do you want to ask the question in the chat or you want to come up? Laugh. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's give him a minute to see what's happening.
I'm sending him requests, but he's not accepting it.
Okay. All right, so you're a bit of a joker then, sir. Let's move on. Okay, so the question is, Harry, do you accept that the government ought to accept liability for the damages damage caused to people's personal properties? Do you think so?
Well, none whatsoever, neighbor. It would be diabolical for any government, whether it want be JLP or PMP that's in power, to assume that responsibility.
Where does the government's responsibility stops then? In this case?
Well, in this case, neighbor, the government can assist those who actually have some level of infrastructure currently there. Also specifically those persons who would have purchased like the NHT houses and so on. They are the persons who the government will aid to a great extent, because we still have some level of obligation in that regard. As it regards to the most critical of persons who, those who literally have nothing, then the government will also be able to assist, but not pick up and build people's house, neighbor. That is not the role of a government, unless we have changed the rules and the roles of a government, because no government does that, neighbor.
Yeah. No. Why would there be that expectation among supporters of the People's National Party? Why would they be pushing that somehow government must come in and replace that which they lost? The people have lost cars too, have they not? Should the government replace their cars?
I asked the same question as well in a neighbor earlier. I said, what happened to the BMWs where they park against a board house? Who really stands responsibility? Because they can't expect a government to do it. Your government is not your father, it's not your mother. They don't stand responsibility for you.
Yeah. No. Isn't it not correct, Harry, that with the best of intention, the government is just not able to do all that needs to be done? I want you to help me again. How much is the figure that the Prime Minister said that the damage so far is going to cost?
6 to 8 billion US, which is 1.235 trillion Jamaican dollars.
Quite frankly, Harry, we just don't have that money, right? We don't have it. That would take us 7 years of all that Jamaica earns for 7 years to pay for it. Huh?
That's correct, and including down to the baby on the breast to be paying approximately 430,000.
So $8 billion is Jamaica would have run Jamaica for 8 years.
Technically,
You hear that, listener? The money that we need to put all of this back together is the money that Jamaica would earn and spend for about 8 years. 8 years.
And what we have right now is just a drop in the bucket.
And we don't even have a quarter of that available. So then expectations must be the context. So then, Harry, what type of assistance do you think the government should be providing to the people, apart from the food and the water that the government is bringing? What type of assistance can it give to those who are really going to be in need of something?
Well, apart from the financial assistance that we're seeing them offering in terms of the grants, the moratorium regarding NHT, and so on, they can actually add in terms of some building material. But as again, neighbor, it has to be on a level of those who are in need. And when I say that, stressing in need, it's not that they're responsible to be building you the house, neighbor. You have to start, and we'll come in and see where you are, and we'll help you. If your roof blow off, we can, based on the hardwares and so on, get a few sheets of zinc and that. But the government cannot do it for everybody that is down there, neighbors. So it has to be done in a manner where, as we say, for example, women and children first. We know that saying, right? We can't expect to see somebody hearty and can do the work and refuse to help themselves.
Okay, the question is that in first world countries, does the government build back houses that are lost during a disaster, or is there a requirement in those countries that they have insurance?
In those countries, most of them, when we look at first world, they do have insurance, neighbor. Any assistance offered by the government tend to be through grants and some other initiatives, but predominantly insurance is a major way to go for those countries. And they put it to ensure that if you have the house, you have to have that as well. So it becomes mandatory.
You have to have the insurance.
That is it, neighbor.
Just like how we it's by law that we insure our cars here.
Right.
I see. Is that something that you think the country probably may need to look at? And how would we go about that, Harry?
Well, with it in a neighbor, there are many ways to go about it, but we're going to need the financial sector and financial institutions to help the government with this part. So, for example, I don't know if persons who take out mortgages but never have like life insurance or leverage a life insurance, what the banks do is that they take out that insurance on the building for you, but you don't get it, right? So there has to be ways in which if you're doing, let's say for example, you do the mortgage, we can help people to find cheaper ways. Again, we don't know what insurance will look like, but in terms of policing and all of that, they can put some of these in place. And as such, not to make it as expensive as we know. For some level of insurance, it can be rather expensive. But I know we can do it, neighbor.
Scratchy was trying to correct something there. I don't know if I misquoted, but he was saying
The budget.
the
The
figure
budget, yeah.
of $8 billion US dollars. That is what it costs to run the country for 1 year.
That would have been, I think, for this year's budget.
$8 billion US dollars.
Yeah, just shy of that. Yeah.
Okay, and that is what the government spends for the entire year for Jamaica.
On everything that we do.
Okay, so that's 1 year worth of money that is needed to build back what the hurricane.
Right. So in essence, we would have taken our entire budget and all of that runs the country to try and fix 3 to 4 parishes.
Okay. No. In terms of how the government is to proceed, Harry. I see in the media that some people are still crying out for assistance. And some people are still in shelters. And there's a suggestion coming out today from one of the bloggers that the government should take the people from down there out of the slums and carry them into places where they can get water and other things to do. Is that something that you think is considered, or is this person not thinking out what they're saying?
That would be ill, some form of ill practice, neighbor. I don't think that person give it much thought, because here's what has to be considered. For one, you're increasing the carrying capacity of another city that does not naturally have the infrastructure. No, you can say put them a stadium and all of that. But you have to now mobilize, right, and change up we're looking at logistics in a neighbor. You have to mobilize and change up what you're going to do in Kingston now. And that's going to put strain on Kingston's resources. And that's just one city. Right? Then now, you have to put something in place to account for each and every person. And everybody wants to have their freedom. The next thing is, how are you going to tell Mas John Brown, who has lived in St. Elizabeth all his life, with his life's work, in 2 cow we're probably still alive, in farm where he try to get back, and in little house where roof and everything block. How are you going to get a man like that wants to secure his own things? Remember, we're not dealing with one size fit all kind of situation, and if that individual thinks you can just go in and do as you feel, then he has another guest coming. Because
in other words, you would need some form of legislation to operate on, to just pick up people from one parish, carry them into the other.
That is it, neighbor. And you also have to have a consensus, because even then you're going to be met with pushbacks. So
what act could the government use to do that, really?
Well, I'd have to look at that, neighbor, but I think it might fall within something of the realms of either health. I'd have to check the disasters, whichever thing that was, right? Because it's going to fall within those entities right now, right?
But could you force them though? Could you force them to move?
Neighbor, you see, this goes back to, the type of slaves that landed in Jamaica, neighbor, were not the easiest to deal with, by nature. So I know for sure you're gonna have people who are literally not going anywhere. And then how do you handle the global backlash that you're going to get? Because this is because remember, we have institutions all over the world, human rights. You're forcing and taking them against their will. How do you manage that now? Remember, we're also a tourism destination in a neighbor. So now what you're doing, you're going to put pressure on the destination management team from tourism board to try and spin that a different way. So now you are literally putting pressure on where you don't need to, neighbor. So
Okay.
it's a conundrum of things.
Got that. And then the suggestion that we should put them in hotels.
Who pays for it? Who pays for it, neighbor? Who? Remember, you know, hotels are private owned. These are overseas investors and local investors too. How do you? What do you put in place to ensure that there's no damages to property? How do you work out the payment? Where do you get that money from? For how long they're going to be housed there?
But the hotels are in Jamaica, so you couldn't just talk to the investors and say, give us some room.
Neighbor, Edmund Bartlett stated it. We're opening for business December 15, which means all hotels that can be open will be open. Those that can't be open means there's some infrastructural damage. Are we now going to take up our wonderful citizens of Jamaica and put them into some dilapidated areas where they can even get harmed, neighbor? How that is going to look now?
Yes, but I'm asking because some people are saying get the people out of the place, put them into hotels. I am asking you if this is not a suggestion that
it's not feasible, neighbor. It is not feasible.
Not feasible.
No, because let's look. What I hope we will have some form of any one of those hoteliers here are listening to come on one day and give us a cost breakdown, because knowing our neighbor, the people them now stay there for free. We have to put that in a rab and patwa.
They're not going to stay there for free?
That is it. And you cannot.
Are you saying to me that the hotels wouldn't do this for free?
No. They're a business, neighbor. They're in it to make a profit. They're not in it for any charity. It's not a charitable thing. Look at it this way.
I know this, you know, Scrap.
No, neighbor. I know it. I'm just speaking to the others, you know. Right? Because I can bring it in terms of with Trans Jamaica, where they opened their tours.
Highway.
Right? They opened it for what? Almost 2 weeks? Right?
Yes, a little less than that. They told people.
Right. Which means they would have foregone some level of their business.
Millions of dollars of money. Of money. Millions.
Right. And they were using also their discretion. But they still have to get some form of compensation, despite neighbor them giving 100 million to the relief.
Yes,
a hotel will not be doing any such thing because they also cannot take on that level of debt on themselves. Is a reason.
What of those people who say that, but they don't have any guests in the hotels? The hotels are empty. Why not put the people them in there?
Because then now you're going to actually start using the resources of the hotel, right? So there's this thing where because this is my era, neighbor, tourism and so on, where the rooms are perishable. That's what we classify them as. So a room that is not booked is considered a perishable good, right? Because it's not being used. And for some hotels, it still is maintained, but not to the level of if it had an occupant. Now, in order to have an occupant in that, what they do is reduce the price so that that room or those rooms can be occupied and then other services get used. No, neighbor. When you put persons who have been affected and they're using these rooms, what are the constraints and conditions you can tell an individual? You know what they're going to say? The towel's gone, probably all the TV gone when they're ready, because they're going to say the government pay fees off for me. Wow. How do you control that now? The person who proposed using hotels, how do you control that? You think the hotel manager can tell them nothing? Because of understand the nature of people that we're dealing with as well, neighbor.
The nature of the people.
Yeah. And who covers, remember, because even neighbor, when you stay at a hotel, if there's any damage to that room or property, you stand the cost as an individual. Whatever you pay to occupy the room does not cover any damage. And I can guarantee you, you're going to have damages to the property. And then who pays for that? Are we just randomly incurring costs on the government for stupidity?
Yes, I understand, but so then the people who are suggesting, who are making these suggestions, Harry, don't they think about these things? They don't know.
Neighbor, they're dishonest. As Casey would say, they are intellectually dishonest, right? And it's all about how to mislead people and so on. Because remember, you know, we have a lot of narratives going on. Say, oh, the government are getting millions in other things. Even misquoting aid, because when countries send aid to Jamaica, they quote a dollar value. And they're misleading people to say, oh, that money comes to Jamaica. Government not have them level of money there to do what they think makes sense.
Yeah,
and it's not a time where we can
put to rest this idea that government can put people in hotels. Why is that not an option?
It's definitely not an option, neighbor, because on overall, right, the cost that we're going to incur is unnecessary. It's easier. In fact, let's say the government is paying $50 per night, right? When we're finished, because we don't know how long it's going to take for us to start our rebuilding process, you think the government will have in its budget to be paying for how many people in Westmoreland? 165,000, I believe it is, or a little bit more than that. So we're looking at room and boarding. That's for one. We're looking at feeding them. Are we going to then just carry the aid packages into the hotels and give them? That's another part.
Them cook their own food. Them cook their own. They have to run their own boat. This up.
But how, neighbor? You think the hotel are gonna open up them kitchen to them, neighbor? Remember, no? And then no, like.
No, sir. I tell you the truth.
I think, Caroline. I'm going to, neighbor. I want us to continue on a part of that. I'm going to try and get Jaynard Caroline, because this is his baby. This is his bread and butter, right? Before he left. So I'm going to try and get him, because he was managing as well a specific hotel when I was there at that time. So because I want the people to understand the intricacies of what takes place.
Yes.
Neighbor, on a petty thing, on a boy thing. They have to understand that. And then what will the conversation look like when we're talking to the overseas investors of these hotels, neighbor? You think any of those managers can step to the board and say, well, boy, you know, little hurricane like Jamaica, and we'll try house them for 3 months? Do you know how indebted that business will become? Especially in peak season, because this is going to be peak season, neighbor. A lot of hotels earn more than half their revenues for the year in this period. So they're just going to forego it. Then they won't have any business left, neighbor. And these are also hotels that will be paying back tax, which means they're the ones contributing to our budget, neighbor. So are we just going to wipe out the business technically, bankrupt it, and then also don't have the tax? We need to, these people suggesting these things need to either go back to school, stop with the madness, and leave social media alone. Them granny always say, if you don't have nothing good to say, shut up your mouth.
Well, why I tell you, Mood Palace, Jamaica Grand and Mood Palace, open them up. I tell you, Rio, buy out Rio. Boy, I tell you something. I tell you, it would be nice. It would be nice to see that happen. But you say not possible at all, Harry. Not possible.
Neighbor, definitely not possible, because remember, neighbor, we know Jamaicans how they are. When they do go to a hotel and come back with soap and bag of things, you can imagine being there for longer than a weekend stay. Or so, neighbor. Probably the paint off of the wall gone, neighbor.
Yes. They take up the TV in their handbag. They fold it up because it's flat. flat screen TV full up.
But
You know,
would I think the hotels have a yard sale?
yeah. Hold on there. Hold on there, Harry. We give Scratchy a little time. Caroline, we're gonna have to wrap. Time is on us here. Good night, Scratchy. Hello.
Yes, night neighbor, night Harry and Caroline.
How are you, man?
Not bad. I mean, chilling. Chat go and watch.
Yeah, Scratchy. The latest is that the government's response is to include either rebuilding the homes of the people or renting hotels and put them or take them out of the disaster area. How feasible are these, in your view?
I mean, the government will definitely not look at putting up these persons in hotel for the short term period right now, neighbor. Reason being, I don't think it would be worth it right now. Funding. Persons might say yes, they did it in COVID, so why they can't do it now? But in COVID, it was a total different situation. It was a health one. There's no need to social distance this time. If it was for social distance, a lot of those persons wouldn't go to any form of hotel neither in COVID. So it was just because of that. But definitely, neighbor, I don't see that possible right now, neighbor. I definitely don't. But neighbor, I definitely think that the government have a role to play in the rebuilding process. I definitely think, neighbor. Yes, I mean, you have a country, neighbor, that pulls down $25 billion, neighbor, from a insurance grant, neighbor. It's when you're a government, neighbor, you're not just a government who create policies and programs. When you're a government, neighbor, you're responsible for the whole sum of your country. And if JPS should fall tomorrow morning, the government will have to step in and build JPS because of how critical it is to our economy and our country. Same with water commission and any other critical infrastructure. So talk about a human life now, neighbor. The government has to take up the responsibility. The persons incentives bet is our inability to build up those places. The government have to take that lead role, neighbor. And it has to be a priority because under the Charter of Fundamental Human Rights, it's that every person, neighbor, is entitled to shelter and roof over their head. Now, these persons lost their roof. The government have an option, provide the shelter or build back the houses. How long can you provide shelter for? How that was set for your economy if you have 20,000 people living in a shelter? So the government is caught between a rock and a hard place, neighbor. And it's not really a rock and a hard place, neighbor. It's normal human rights, neighbor. The government will definitely have to play a role. Once the funding is there, the government will definitely, I don't the government will come and say yes, we do all, but the government will definitely have to play a role in housing. It will have to be a priority. And neighbor, these houses are even more priority than roads because we have places in Jamaica where persons have been driving on sub-condition roads for years. Government does need to make sure that these roads are in driving condition. But in terms of, say, asphalt, all of them, and Barbie Green, all of them before houses, no, that's not a priority. That can't be the priority. So I think definitely our government have a role in them, have to play another child. Government is a part of the UN Convention. You can't have 20,000 people living outdoor. We can't do it, and we have to. If we didn't have the funding, we have $25 billion drawdown, and government have to be extra careful, how they spend this money. That's why the Prime Minister is trying to be level-headed right now. Because he know the burden, he know how it have to be split across different sectors. Housing, neighbor, for these persons to get back on their feet has to be a priority. Anything else going forward can be done over a budgetary cycle, over a period of cycle. Agriculture is not going to fix in one fix. Agriculture will take more than one budgetary cycle. We have a whole agriculture ministry to deal with that. That those things are long term. But not in the short term, in the medium to long term, the government have to secure a serious housing plan for these people. And it is a priority for them, neighbor. They have to. If they don't do it, you expose the citizens to them, you expose the community, your economy to collapse. The government have to play a role, neighbor. Anytime, any major infrastructure, human resource, man-made resources, capital resources are suffering, government have to come in and bail them out. So see me like how government can bail out a company, government have to bail out the citizens right now. Who in that situation here, neighbor?
Okay,
it's just the reality of life.
But would the government not have already recognized this and act in providing members of parliament with, in some case, $10 million to do exactly that?
Based on the severity of the damage, neighbor, the government itself pointed out, neighbor, that the 10 million, they know the $10 million wasn't can cover certain aspects of what is to come. The government themselves know that, neighbor. The government themselves know and realize that the 10 million, the government did that as a short-term plan to mitigate some of the misery index that persons might face right now. Persons who might fall through the line, who might don't get a care package. Your member of parliament have money can do that. Persons who might need immediate assistance, persons who might come out of big families and stuff like that. Those persons need immediate assistance. So we have to understand, neighbor, that currently they are used in the schools as shelter. We have to house these people somewhere, somehow, no matter what, where we're going to house them. If we want to house them, keep them in the school, then no, school can't keep. So we have to build up, take them out of the schools, then so schools can't keep, take them out of the schools, where are we going to put them? The easiest thing and the most practical thing, neighbor, is, and government know that going forward, they have to help towards housing, neighbor. Government, that is a priority. We have a drawdown. It's when I was reading the whole thing, neighbor, from the cap ban, they were highlighting and telling me that housing, infrastructure, and with the cap ban, the good thing about the cap ban is, neighbor, the government hands are not tied. Government can do anything with the cap ban. It is not tied to no specific sector. The cap ban is not tied to no specific sector. Government can do anything with the cap ban. Now, when we understand and say, yes, scratchy, but there are some health factors down there. Government can push money towards health. Yes, but health will have to build out over a period of time, neighbor, through the health ministry. So what I ask to the Prime Minister is, going forward, neighbor, where the budget will come ready by next April.
But you're talking about thousands of houses, scratchy. The $25 billion would not even be sufficient to restore all of these houses. The point is that this has to be a partnership between government and citizens. It's not the government responsibility.
Yes, it's going to be a partnership, neighbor. It has to be done in a partnership. But I'm telling you, no matter what, neighbor, government will have to be the one who takes up that lead role, neighbor. It has to be a partnership. Government, citizen, private companies, private organizations, and even overseas donors. It is a collaborative effort, and I'm telling you that it is the biggest sore foot for the government right now. And I know it is what the government and the Prime Minister is trying to mitigate. Here, the Minister said that they are looking at some solutions. They are looking at unit costs and shipping costs for some housing solution, whether it be farmhouses that can come together and farm in one, or the container houses, so that show your neighbor that the government have something in mind. They know that they have to have something in mind.
The priority of the government now is to get the people back in their homes?
Yes, neighbor. The priority of the government, neighbor, is to get these people back in their houses, neighbor. This place is, neighbor, no matter what we want to do, it's not going to go back to where we want it if these persons are not settled and comfortable. If these kids are not settled and comfortable, we're not talking about just adults' life being affected there, neighbor. We're talking about children, neighbor, the psychological effect that these things can have on children. It is government responsibility to mitigate these factors as best as possible. So it is definitely the government responsible, neighbor. Government have to take the lead role. Persons might be saying what Scratchy I say, but look at it. Anything, if any major infrastructure, any major company, any country is falling, the government have to go in there and go bail them out because of how important that company is. So you tell me, say the people's life are not more important more than any company, entity in Jamaica? It's a collaborative effort, neighbor, and government is going to take the lead role, neighbor. We hear the minister say it, so that the government is looking at some housing solutions. It's a collaborative effort, neighbor, and the government have a responsibility, neighbor, to make sure that as least person as possible, neighbor, are homeless. Or make them stay homeless, then it add to the adverse effects of your country. It add to our ratings, our international ratings that we have. It is gonna affect it, neighbor. It is definitely gonna affect our poverty ratings, because when somebody living outside and do have a roof, them poverty them, you know. You could never see any poverty and have a roof over your head. So it's going to affect a lot of the factors going forward, neighbor, and government understand that, and government knows, neighbor, you know government to work. Government know that a lot of these index, neighbor, help us worldwide in a lot of things that we get. So government will definitely take a lead role more. Definitely. I don't see the government.
And I suspect that they probably will have to look at some support from the National Housing Trust.
Definitely, neighbor. Government have a lot of resources, neighbor. The National Housing Trust will definitely come in to be a part of this, neighbor. That's why, neighbor, I know the Prime Minister right now is busy working to how best he can turn this with this 25 billion that is at our disposal right now, or we can share this across sectors. But what I will ask, neighbor, and I know this might be a plan going forward, neighbor, because this is not a long-term fix, I would expect that, neighbor, that whatever budget these ministries are gonna come with neighbor who come, because persons are starting to line up what the budget's gonna look like for the 2026, 2027 period. So I would just ask neighbor that these persons create a budget on your infrastructure side. We know the budget has two sides, the recurrent and the infrastructure development, capital expenditure. So what I would say, neighbor, is I would definitely want to see, neighbor, each ministry, every single ministry, neighbor, develop a plan in them budget, neighbor, that directly target these specific areas, neighbor, that are affected. Every ministry have to come on board that will take the time push, because it's not going to be a one fix. So persons can't just look at the $25 billion and say, all right, $25 billion is here. The government will go fix the whole of the road in one time with the $25 billion. The whole of the road being fixed one time cannot be the priority. Persons' house and persons' living condition right now, neighbor, is the main priority, because if government don't act fast, neighbor, it will lead to a humanitarian crisis. And when it leads to a humanitarian crisis, neighbor, that is what the government don't want.
But Scratchy, when I can ask the opposition for some of the money they raise, what do you think about that?
I mean, but I'm trying to see these other guys, I wouldn't want nothing from them, because they would want to take back the house on the people when the people don't vote for them. But yeah, for the neighbor, man, it has to be led by government, neighbor. We don't want to believe it or not, neighbor. These are the things that we vote in government for, neighbor. We vote in a government, neighbor, so a government step up and take the lead whenever things are wrong, neighbor. And 300, 400,000 persons, neighbor, homeless are displaced in your country. That's key priority for government, neighbor. Have to be.
Yeah. Okay, but I don't think that absolves the people from trying to help themselves, eh?
No, neighbor, it definitely doesn't it definitely does not, neighbor. Persons who can help themselves should definitely go ahead and help themselves, neighbor. And I think persons who can help themselves are already making those steps, neighbor. And I think that's a good feel, that's a good way, definitely. But persons who can help themselves should. But after the crisis, during this crisis, neighbor, majority of this is on government, neighbor, and government will definitely have to play a role. As I tell you before, the neighbor, I was in a similar situation. It wasn't a natural disaster, neighbor. It was more of a man-made disaster. And persons lost their place, neighbor, and persons were compensated. Persons' houses got damaged, neighbor. Persons were compensated. So I don't see the model changing right now. It was the same Jamaica Labour Party government who was in power. So I don't see the model changing right now in something that is more severe than this in terms of the housing population. So definitely, neighbor, as I say, I see the government playing a role in this. I can't see a government see so much despair and help and don't come in. I can't see. Definitely, but I think I'm a part of that $25 billion will definitely be budgeted for housing.
Until tomorrow, we're going to have to wrap tonight. Boy, I tell you what a challenge we have here. Building back Jamaica. The resources are scarce. Scratchy is suggesting that the government will have to prioritize the individuals.
Yes, neighbor, because if them don't do it in a neighbor, the same thing will happen again. Last year, neighbor, the $350 million the Prime Minister gave out in a neighbor towards refurbishing people roof and houses, you know. I will see what happened this year. All of those roofs are gone, neighbor. We heard the Minister of Education said that all of the schools in St. Elizabeth, where they spend much in millions of dollars to repair the roof them last year because of burial, all of those roofs are gone, neighbor. So we can't build back the same way. It is clear the government, the Prime Minister say he is looking at solutions that can manage certain weather conditions and stuff like that. I definitely tell you, neighbor, without a doubt, it is coming.
All right. Well, until tomorrow, Scratchy. Take care of yourself.
Same to you.
Always nice talking to you. Harry, until tomorrow. Catch up with you.
Definitely, neighbor. We'll see tomorrow.
There you have it. Government will have to jump in and help. It's a hard sell, but That is why you see we're going to have to exercise patience and understanding and shut out the politics, eh? Caroline, there's a caller by the name of Lee, and he's asking for a minute. It's 3 minutes to 11 o'clock. Can we give him one?
Can you come back at 4 tomorrow, please?
Say that?
Can we ask Lee to be here for 4 o'clock tomorrow?
Okay. Okay, listeners, that's it for us tonight. Until tomorrow, 4 p.m. Have a great rest of the night, and see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, Caroline. Have a great night.
Have a great night too. Have a great night, everybody. See you all tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Exatamente agora, e minha mãe já tá chamando aqui pra gente sair, tá ligado? Que nós ia sair.
mãe?
É.
Essa hora? 1 hora da manhã.
1 hora da manhã. Vai sair 1 hora da manhã.
1 hora da manhã.
Opa, oficina do bolo, oficina do bolo. Oficina do
que é
bolo.
essa cal aí, mano? Pelo amor de Deus.
Tu vai pra onde? 1 hora da manhã. Que oficina que tá aberta 1 hora da manhã?
Oficina do bolo, oficina do bolo.
Oficina de
bolo.
Que bolo? Que bolo?
Vai fazer o que nessa oficina do bolo?
Comer bolo.
Essa
1 hora da manhã.
1 hora da manhã.
Essa hora?
No domingo. No domingo.
Aham.
Entendeu? Porque 3 SS na cal e tem uma porrada de gente pra se analisar.
Não,
e o pessoal tá
a
todo
gente já vai
matando.
agilizar aí, ô Jair. Pode ficar tranquilo aí que a gente já vai agilizar aí. Só tô pedindo aí, só falta só abrir um Instagram aí, entendeu? Só falta isso. E ele não quer, entendeu? Só isso.
Então,
Tá aí, ó. Vou abrir.
Vou abrir. Abre o Instagram aí.
Vou abrir. Tá aqui, ó.
Bota aí o perfil aí, ó.
Tá aí, ó.
Especialista em bypass. Mãe
Oxe,
do
que
analista. Olha aí. Analista é. Olha aí.
Ô, Dona.
Esse cara aí.
Oi.
O gráfico é tudo.
Você tá vendo isso aí, né?
Tá
Mãe
vendo
do
aí, né,
analista,
Nuno?
Betinha
Olha isso aí.
Não, que diabo é isso, mano? Tô te falando, eu recuperei
Ó,
hoje esse
não,
Insta,
não,
cara.
ó,
Recuperei
olha
hoje.
aí, não,
Recuperei hoje,
Joga
recuperei
no
hoje.
analista, mano.
clica ali, não
Recuperei
clique.
hoje.
Vê lá, ó. Não clique. Me clique ali, não clique.
Eu recuperei
Clica lá.
hoje.
É, recuperou hoje. Não, mas eu não quero saber não. Clica lá, não clique.
Clicar e não clique?
É,
Pode clicar?
deve.
Só clicar, né?
É, vamos.
Tá aí, ó.
Ih.
Poxa, que diabo é isso, mano?
Ah, mas aqui
Não, não sabia disso. Não,
pra
não. Foi
vocês
sem
aí.
querer, foi sem querer.
A pergunta é que vocês acharam alguma coisa no celular dele?
Não, infelizmente aí não vai estar sendo liberado, infelizmente. Mas
É 3SS,
ele tá
eu não tô
estranho,
cheatado.
tá?
Quiser eu relogo o Free Fire, eu relogo pra ver.
Não, porque
Não,
porque
não.
3 SS não conseguir achar um cheat, eu vou ter que demitir os 3